like the ending of Adventure Time. What's the show that what's the show network that has the dog barking? Is that MTV?
I have no idea.
There's a network that at the end of their shows the dog goes, and then that's the end of it.
We're keeping this in.
Yeah.
This is gonna be a part of it.
Yeah.
Part of history.
That's why I started talking.
Welcome.
Hi, I'm Josh.
I am James Waters.
And Davis, and we're gonna talk at you, to each other.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's about it. There's no fixed topic conversation for each episode. It's just gonna be something different. There's no boundaries for the conversations we can have, and
except murder. What? Yeah. Yeah, we do. We can talk about whatever we want because we're cool and
yeah.
So tell me a little bit about yourself.
Well, I am James Waters, like I said, and I enjoy music, Dr. Pepper, tennis, chess. Used to play soccer. Used to play baseball. Did a whole bunch of sports. Don't know where to start. Just grew up around this place and yeah, not much interesting to say.
If you don't know what you don't, he has a really nice long beard. It's very, very, very great. Yeah, I'm Josh. I have the exact same hobbies as him in every single way. We
drink Diet Coke.
I drink Diet Coke instead of Dr. Pepper, but that's it's just better. So
we put aside our differences.
We put us for the sake of
no matter how big they are.
Yeah, that's like it's a very, very large distinction. Yeah, we've been playing tennis for a while. I've been playing since like 7th grade, and I don't know how long have you been playing.
I started, I think, I started when I met you in high school, and I joined the team freshman year.
Okay.
I've been playing like every now and then, like with my dad, maybe once, maybe 2 or 3 times a month. And that was it up until that time, for about a year.
Yeah.
And then I basically just knew how to hold it. And then I had a few lessons with the local coach at the park.
Alex?
Yeah, Mr. Alex. He, and it went okay. But then I've joined tennis and actually got serious about it.
Yeah, I got you, man.
And stayed for 4 years. But for college, I'm not going to.
Yeah,
oh, yeah, we just graduated.
Yeah, we're just out of high school. We're both 18. We've been doing music as long as I can remember, together since freshman year.
Yeah, that's been the main point where our passions connect is through music. That's what we're doing in college. We're both
music ed, or I'm music ed, and he's performance, I think.
Yeah, and we're in the class we mainly became friends in was in our chorus in high school.
Yeah.
And there it was a good 4 years, and that really, I would say for both of us, lit a fire under us to do stuff about music and
absolutely
not just music, but
I will say the first class that we actually re-met was in a math class freshman year with this god awful teacher. She had no idea what she was doing, and we pretty much ran the classroom. But
yeah, she wasn't the most knowledgeable about the subject that she was teaching to children.
Yeah,
it was she just had some some problems with her teaching style.
Didn't she split us apart on the first day?
Did she really?
I think she did. She sat you on the other side of the room from me. Maybe it was a couple weeks, but it was really quick.
I know I sat either in front of you or behind you directly in the corner.
Yeah.
And then there was somebody else there. Maybe...
It was Ansley, I think.
Ansley? Yeah. And then we got moved. No, yeah, I do remember her now, because when we were in the back, like, left corner, and then when she moved us, she put me on the right, far side of the classroom.
Very, very front.
I had no idea who those people were. I was like, this is not interesting anymore. I hate this class now.
It was bad. It was a bad class. But, we got through it, and it was whatever.
Yeah,
I think I made a B in there.
Yeah, we also, one of the nerdiest things I can say I've ever did was we both were in the D&D club
Yeah.
at our high school.
One of our good buddies, he started up the club. Tall, very, very, very tall gentleman. Very deep bass voice. He was very great.
Very good announcer.
Oh, such a good announcer. Great storyteller. He's what really got me into D&D. And
Yeah.
just in case you're wondering, me and James both played bards.
Yeah, that was the only. Every single time we did a campaign, we would both be bards and have. It would. Some things would change each time we made a new character, but it would just be basically the backstory is this character loves music, and that's about it.
We went on a whole campaign once where the entire party was bards, and we just performed and stuff. It was great. It was awesome.
Yeah, and
But-
D&D was a good game.
Yeah.
Like I enjoy D&D because it gives you the option to do whatever you want,
Absolutely. Yeah.
and it's all made up. So there's not a lot of things that have unlimited creative freedom.
Mhm.
That is not real life.
I will say we were also, which may be a little bit nerdier actually, we were on the chess team for, I think the first 2 years until COVID. But
Yeah.
we had a guy, our coach was really good. We had a team captain, he was awesome. Did we win that year?
Legendary.
Did
We won.
I think we might have gotten close our sophomore year, but then the season got cut short.
I know that our friend was like a genius and he got first every tournament.
Yeah, pretty much.
If we ever got second place or third, then it was because we didn't really.
Yeah.
We didn't carry our weight.
Mhm.
He carried the weight of his points and
Yeah.
about 5 other people.
What is it? You get 4 matches per turn or per time?
I think it's 3.
It's 3. Yeah.
And then it's depending on how you've done past however many games you played
Mhm.
up until the third one, that's like you play the people who won or lost as many times as you, and he always won every single one.
Yeah, pretty much.
He was ahead of his time.
I remember we also had another friend with the same name as him, coincidentally, and we went over to their house and we played a tournament per se. And I remember I was up like half a point, and this guy we were playing, and what I did, I just looked at him and said, "Hey, do you want to draw?" And he went, "Yeah, I'll take a draw. That'll be great." And then essentially that means that I won.
Yeah.
Because I beat him at least. I don't
He
think I
didn't
won
think
the whole
about
thing.
it and he just
Yeah,
accepted
he just
it.
shook my hand out of instinct, and this is great.
Yeah. And we actually didn't meet through. We didn't meet for the first time in high school.
Yeah.
When we both went to the same one. I jumped around elementary schools and middle schools. The only school that I've ever stayed with was the one I ended up in and graduated from in high school. But I was homeschooled until 2nd grade, went to one school, then for 3rd grade went to another. And then halfway through my 5th grade year, I transferred to Josh's school, and we quote unquote met.
Yeah. We were in the same area.
Yeah, we knew that each other existed, but then we quickly forgot because we didn't really talk that much. And that's also where we met another good friend.
Who's that?
Uh,
Oh yeah.
in so we met each other there, and
Did we recognize each other when we got to high school? I feel like we did.
we didn't recognize each other immediately. I remember seeing you for the first time in chorus and thinking, because it was 2nd block still,
Yeah.
and I was thinking, looks familiar, and I already said a word to this guy earlier. I'm gonna go over and just sit and like make a couple jokes or like just try and be a part of the conversation because you knew Chandler at that point.
Yeah, I did.
And so you were good friends with him, and so I became good friends with him and you. And then he left choir a little bit later and
He was a
focused on
football player. Yeah.
And we don't really talk to him that much anymore. He said hi to me at graduation, and we talk every now and then when we see each other, like in person. But me and Josh were really stick together after that, and continued taking the same classes, stayed in chorus, and um, we realized that every single hobby was similar.
Yeah, we literally would just show up to new things, like a new sport team tryout or a club tryout, and the other would just be there, and we'd be like, "Oh, hey, how's it going?"
Actually, you were the person who told me about
D&D.
not the chess club, but you told me that there was a D&D club.
Yeah.
Because it was a little bit, maybe within a month of the first year, or first semester, we already knew each other and we were friends. And you told me that, like asked me if I liked D&D, and then to come with you if I wanted to, and I was like, yeah. And then for chess, I think the first time I went to it was with you because I didn't know we had one until that.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
I was already well.
Do you remember the first time we played chess together in the hallway?
Yeah.
It was freshman year. We played chess together in the hallway, and I fools mated him
It was
3 consecutive times, the same set of movements, and
checkmated me in 4 moves.
yeah.
Over and over and over again.
I made him take a picture of him making a really sad face, but did that.
Yeah, I was not good at chess at the time. I had learned how to play, and I loved like learning about it, and I played it at the private school that I went to for all my middle school was private schools, and I had played it every now and then near the end of my 8th grade year. Came to the public school and didn't really touch it until until then, and then but then I got
really good.
I got to know.
He started beating the crap out of me, and I was like, "Oh well, that sucks. That really sucks."
I got to know the senior, or I guess he was a junior.
Yeah, he was.
But I got to know him during that year a little bit more because he was the president of the chess club, and he was very passionate about it. He did work towards.
Didn't he lend us like books?
Did he really?
Yeah, the kid who graduated last year, he lives down the street from me. He got me a book for my birthday.
Huh.
Yeah.
Cool.
And then he moved to Iowa or something.
Yeah, I remember looking in the library and looking for books on chess.
Isn't that where you found that piece of paper with the music theory?
Yeah, actually, yeah. That reminds me. There was a chess book written by Bobby Fischer.
Really?
Yeah, and it was basics on, I think it was either tactics or openings or something. It was either written by Bobby Fischer or
inspired by.
Like it was around Bobby Fischer what he said,
right?
Because he came up with. I think he came up with like the point system that we have now, or he at least evaluated that bishops were a little bit more valuable than knights.
Yeah.
He might not have been the first person by far, but he popularized it.
Put a big foundation into it.
But it was a book that had all kinds of chess tactics, openings, puzzles. I think it was puzzles book.
Yeah.
And it was a bunch of tactics that could give you a winning position. And in one of the pages, I found a piece of paper folded up. I unfolded it, and it was a worksheet for sort of beginner basic music theory. And then on the back, and it was like fill in the blanks, or like show what key you're in, or place the scale and what note names for each line in space, that kind of stuff. And then on the back, on the blank side, there were notes written out for like a song, to write a song. Like there weren't like musical notes. It was just they were writing down verbally what like on paper what they wanted the song to sound like.
Okay.
Like where the bridge would be, what kind of like tone to set it as, what sort of chords to play, and then just the movement of the piece. And I was like, there's somebody else who liked chess and music.
Yeah.
That was cool.
Going back to D&D, that was actually one of the things you kind of dropped off of it after sophomore year.
Yeah.
Once our president guy, he was really, really great guy. Once he left, the club kind of went downhill. The person who took it up was not as good at telling stories or anything like that. And then this year, I mean, it just got Actually, this year was better than last year because we went from my neighbor to Jacob, so it went uphill a little bit. They got some membership back up, but I was in a group outside of school with our president guy and a couple other kids, and we had a lot of fun doing that a lot of nights. Did you ever go to those?
I think I went once.
Yeah.
And we played around with some pistols when I was there.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that was then. Yeah.
That is
The flintlock pistol.
Yeah, and
Like a real one, not like Indy, like a real flintlock pistol.
just messed around in his backyard or
Yeah.
front yard with that.
That was cool. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah. He was an interesting guy, and he joined chorus with us.
He did.
I was
Yeah.
actually walking in the hall with him when our director stepped out into the hall, saw him, and he was like, and he knew that his voice was very deep.
Yeah, yeah.
And that he played trumpet. I think he knew he was in band already,
Mhm.
and people had told him to recruit him. He was like, "Hey, so when can you do an audition for me?" And then he told him like tomorrow or whenever, like scheduled it in the hall right next to me, and then that was that. And then afterwards, Jalen he was just like, it went pretty well. I don't feel like I did bad. He told me that I've had the deepest voice he's ever had in the choir before, but that's pretty cool. I was like, yeah, you're definitely making it straight to the advanced choir.
His voice was freakishly deep. Like,
Yeah,
man was a subwoofer.
he went so low. It was insane, and he's just very, very. He was a subwoofer. He was very, very loud.
Yeah. Didn't he make it into our college right next to us has a bass choir that anyone can get into, and then they have their elite choir that travels like internationally. They're going to Germany this year, this summer. And didn't he make it in there his freshman year, like first semester?
He's in the intermediate one.
Well, he was in both.
He was?
Yeah, he was in chorale and U singers, but they like bullied him out of chorale.
Oh, dang.
But yeah, no, he was in the highest ranked choir. I think it was his first semester.
I remember him saying that he made it into chorale.
Yeah.
And I just thought, like when we watched their concert this year, I thought that he made it
No,
to use.
he's been in chorale every semester, but this one I think.
Huh. Interesting. Okay. Well, I mean, he in a choir setting, you're trying to blend. He's not a blender, or like you're trying to sound as much like
Everybody else.
one person
Yeah.
making however many notes are being sung.
Yeah.
Like you cannot sound like an individual.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, he did a better job than some people I know. For never being in choir until his senior year, he was freakishly good.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
was crazy.
We had some other people that year who made it in, and they were right off the bat. They were just good, like for the choir.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess I should say some stuff about my growing up. I was born in Houston, Texas, in the big old city. I think right now it's the fourth biggest city in the world, or not in the world, in the U.S. We lived there for 9 years. Then I moved out to Georgia, where I currently reside. It was a pretty big change, moving from the most urban place you can go to literally the backwoods.
Yeah.
But not a bad change, just a big one.
Yeah.
I've been living here ever since. I went to probably 6 or 7 different elementary schools, and then I finally ended up at the one we met at.
Yeah.
And then I went to my middle and high school, same place all the way.
Mhm.
But I had a pretty good childhood. I can't complain.
Yeah.
Drank a lot of Diet Coke, but
I drink a lot of Dr. Pepper.
the burp juice.
Oh yeah, I'm what they call a burper.
Yeah.
And Dr. Pepper does the job.
Don't knock over the
Dear
mic.
God,
Don't
that was
knock over
close.
the mic. That would be bad.
I was playing with the mic stand with my foot absentmindedly, and it tipped over, and the mic we're using is balancing on the mic stand. It doesn't quite fit, and so it almost fell on the floor.
That would have been bad. Ugh.
But yeah, so we're going into college now, and we'll be taking the same classes as our freshman year.
Yeah. I think up until junior year.
Yeah, because even sophomore.
Yeah, I think sophomore as well.
Cool.
Because I think junior year is when I start taking the education courses, and you'll start doing more performance-based stuff.
Yeah.
And then I have to
Oh,
student
well,
teach.
I guess sophomore year is when the performance stuff happens. Because Dr. Henderson told me sophomore year it
Yeah.
divides off. Because I told him I'll do performance. Dr. Henderson is my voice teacher.
And he's
And
mine
his.
as well.
Yeah. He's incredible. He's the executive director of NATS, which is the National Association of
The
Teachers of Singing.
Yeah.
And that's the world's largest
Yeah.
group of
Musical teacher
music
out.
teachers. Yeah.
We're in an internship thing right now. It's not the internship's not for us. It's for other music teachers. We're just there and we get free voice lessons.
Yeah.
But
It's
I
an
mean, a lot of
internship for music teachers to get taught how to teach.
Yeah.
And you can't teach without students, so we are the students.
They just pull from our area, and it just happens to be near us. So that's
Yeah.
fun. The teachers I've worked with so far are really great.
Yeah, me too.
I finally get to show off my baritone-ness. I've sung tenor 1 for the past 4 years, which is the highest male voice part in the choir. So it's nice to be able to show them my lower range.
Yeah, yeah. The thing about our range is you have, if you didn't already know it, you have, your range obviously goes from the lowest note you can possibly sing and then all the way to the highest note you can possibly sing.
Yeah.
Even if it sounds bad, that's what the range is. It doesn't matter about how it sounds. But the belting range, where there's a little,
A little band where your voice is at its strongest,
yeah,
and it just lets you be the loudest you can be with the clearest tone.
yeah,
That's usually where your belting range is about where people will, like, teachers will voice you.
mm-hmm.
So if yours is, like, lower, and you can hit the lower notes a lot better, they'll put you at baritone or bass, and if it's higher, tenor 2, tenor 1.
Mm-hmm.
James is weird, because...
And you're weird.
I'm also weird, but you're more, I would say, of a baritone that was kind of forced into a T2 spot, or at least you were.
Well, I had the choice to choose between B1 or T2.
Yeah.
And I chose tenor because you were a tenor I knew already.
Yeah.
And, I mean, I just stayed. But when I did my audition for advanced choir again, he said, yeah, you're pretty much, I'm just going to keep you as a tenor. I mean, that's where you're good at. And,
Yeah.
Or, I mean, that's like,
What
that's
you've
yours.
been doing.
Your tenor.
Yeah.
My range hasn't, well, I used to hit maybe a half step lower consistently
Mm-hmm.
back in not freshman year but sophomore year, and so my range is the lowest note has gone up maybe half a step, and so I can't hit as low anymore consistently, but I can hit, I would say, 4 to 5 like whole steps higher than I used to be able to. Especially freshman year.
Oh yeah,
I could not do it.
It's amazing how much people's range just like blossoms outward. Because I mean, my freshman year, I could sing maybe close to 2 octaves.
Yeah,
Probably more like an octave and a half of good sound, and now I think it's more around, I don't know, close to 2.5, 3.
Mm.
But yeah, I credit a lot of that to my choir director. He was awesome. He
Yeah.
worked a lot with us.
Yeah. And I did my range didn't start expanding upwards, at least with chest voice. My falsetto hasn't gone up, but it's my falsetto has always been able to go very high, but my chest voice, without having to go into head voice, did not go very high at all. And it was specifically hard for me. Like, that was one of my weak areas, was going high in chest voice and not switching to falsetto.
Yeah.
And my falsetto used, I don't know if it still can, but it used to go very, very low. I did something with Dr. Henderson where we
Worked the falsetto down instead of up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and went down to an F.
Oh wow.
Yeah, but it took just some,
Like this, that F or the. That's a low F for falsetto. That's good. It's really good.
But I had to change some things about how I was doing it in order to get there. I did it the only time I ever did it without him being there, like going low in my falsetto, was when we were singing Great God Almighty.
Yeah.
And the is a F for T2s, and I sang that falsetto just to be funny, like an octave up, and then I ended up singing an octave lower, and I was like, holy crap, that's an F. Halfway through, I was like, I remember the note I was singing it, but my falsetto used to go really high, but not my chest voice.
Yeah.
And my chest voice could go lower than it could higher, but my belting range, or sorry, my chest voice could go higher than it could lower from like middle C, or C below middle C for us, and my belting range was
Your melting range?
my belting range was a little bit around that, like the lower part, and then your belting range is a lot higher,
Yeah.
a lot higher than mine, but you can go a lot lower than me.
It's really weird. I can sing physical lower notes than him, but my belting range is higher. And he can sing physically higher notes than me, but his belting range is lower. So it's just kind of like, it's kind of screwy.
So like I'm a T2, but I could technically hit those T1 notes, and you could definitely hit the T2 notes,
I can
but your T1,
yeah,
belting, yeah.
We had a friend, I mean kind of a friend, yeah. Our freshman and sophomore year, he was the choir president sophomore year. And his range was the weirdest thing I'd ever seen.
He sounded like he was a baby.
Yeah, he was a literal baby. He was a tenor one, like almost a contratenor. Hold on, just 1 second.
Some people puberty like hits them. Puberty just kind of tapped him on the shoulder, and then that was it. that was the extent of his development.
Like he could sing probably up here in soprano range, but he could not sing below middle C. Yeah. Like he could not get down to where guys should be singing. So if there was a song that would just went to normal tenor 2 range, he just couldn't sing it. He just had to ghost those notes. It was so strange.
Yeah, it was interesting. And yeah, that's a lot about us. Not sure how many other things we've got out that we can pull out of our pockets.
Yeah, pockets. yeah. Anywho, I think that's what's gonna be it for today.
Yeah.
We'll call it here.
I think now, if any time that there is, that now would be a good time to talk about what the point of the podcast is, what the plan is from here on out.
Yeah.
This episode, we talked about us a lot, like, just like an icebreaker.
Yeah, kinda. Yeah.
And there wasn't really a topic for the whole, or any theme for the whole thing. It was just us introducing, us and what we've done, how we knew each other, and pretty much touch a little bit on every topic that we might make an episode about: chess, D&D, tennis, music, Dr. Pepper, Diet Coke, foods.
Talk about a ton of different stuff.
Yeah, and we'll definitely have friends that come on and
talk about games.
say their 2 cents about whatever they're good at saying their 2 cents about, and
of course, if you guys have any ideas of what you want us to talk about, just send them in, and we'll see if we can make an episode about it.
Yeah.
Or at least a segment.
Yeah. And throughout the whole thing, we're gonna try our best not to make it feel like a podcast, try to make it feel like more as if we're 2 friends of yours that are in the room with you.
Yeah.
And just listening.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think that's about it.
I was gonna play a thing on the piano as like a
play the lick as the outro.
Oh no.
Do you know how to do that on the piano?
I used to. I couldn't do it.
Figure it out. There we go.
But yeah, I think that's about it for this one.
Yeah.
We'll see you next time. Bye.
Nice.
Yeah.
Y'all recording?